The Metatag module?
Yeah, so I installed it,
Okay.
um, but I couldn't quite figure out how to use it with the subsites.
Okay. You want to take a look together? Okay, it's
Sure.
coming through now.
Um, okay.
Great. So I see the website, and let's click on extend, and let's just make sure everything's kind of enabled here, and we can go to the configuration.
And the other question I had, um, which would probably, as far as how to structure these sub pages for the project page.
Okay.
Um, I was doing some research, and well, we'll see what you think when we
Okay.
look at it.
Now, at the top of this list, there's a filter, and you can just start typing in meta tag there, and then that should bring it up. Yeah, so. Okay, great. So you have meta tag, and you can see that there's a bunch of meta tag related modules in here. So there's like meta tag Facebook, Google Plus, Open Graph. So um, this will help you, like if you want to enable other things, it can help you for, interacting and sending metadata to other sites like Twitter and things like that.
So
So
you want, okay, so I should install all of them?
you don't have to. That's up to you. It depends on what kind of experience you want to manage. So if you need to manage more than just some simple like titles and descriptions and things like that, then you can come in here and enable those. For now, we can look at the basic configuration. So to start, let's like click on the. Do you see the arrow to the right of meta tag? If you click on the little arrow, it should expand that section. And then if you click on yep, and then from here you can click on configure. And this should allow you to like set default meta tag patterns for certain things. So if you scroll down here, is there anything else available? Okay. So under content, if you expand content, click on the yeah. Okay. So this is what they are setting for automatic patterns right now. So do you see how the title is saying get the node title and then the site name? So that's pretty much standard. That's kind of what we want to see here. So the title is what appears in the top of your tab. So do you see right in this current page right here? It says meta tag. Then there's a little pipe thing and it says NBER in that tab.
Wait a minute.
So like in the top of your browser there, there's one, two, three, four, five tabs open. Yeah, there's like projects NBER. Yeah, exactly. So that's setting that pattern right there. So it's basically saying, hey, for all pages, like automatically grab the title of the page and then put the name of the site after it. So that should be correct. That's exactly how we want that to work, right? So it's like if you're on the About Us page, it's going to say About Us, then it's going to have that little line, and then it's going to say NBER. So that should generally work for us. And then the other patterns we have here is node summary and node URL. So those should be automatically, if you're using a summary field, it should be able to grab that and use that for some of the metadata for the description. And then it's setting the URL for the canonical URL. So those patterns should generally work out of the box, and there's not much you have to do for them. We can take a look real quick at overriding those on an actual node, but those should be okay for our
Oh,
purposes.
so can we try to set one for the RDRC site?
Yeah, let's take a look. So let's go look at those pages individually. So these are just the patterns that are being used overall, and then you
This
can
is each page?
yeah, and then you can override them on a node by node basis. Exactly.
Okay, so RDRC. And then go into configuration here?
Nope. You go to edit on the page,
Oh,
and then you should have. So I'm not seeing it on yours, but oh, okay. So we might have to enable on the content type, possibly. So let's go to configure, like you said. Actually, let's try that real quick, and then let's. Oh, sorry, structure rather. Let's go to structure and then content types. And then let's look at the RDRC. Let's go click to the little arrow to the right and say edit. Yeah. And here I was hoping you'd be able to. Can you click on publishing options real quick on the left hand side there? Okay, it's not there. I was hoping that I thought you'd be able to. The way that Metatag always worked in the past is you're able to override on a node by node basis. I'm not sure why that's not going through right now.
What? Something to do with like being subsites to the main site?
It shouldn't, because they're still standard nodes, so it should work. Can you click on Manage Form Display real quick? At one of those tabs? Yeah, thank you. And let's scroll down here. Can you scroll all the way to the bottom there? Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I thought you'd be able to override on a node by node basis. For some reason, I'm not seeing that. Hmm. All right, let's go to configure again real quick and see if we can look up meta tags. Yeah. And can you do a control F to find anything that says meta tag in here?
Well, F?
Yeah, and then meta tag. Type meta tag and press enter.
It's not bringing up anything.
It looks like you have the find on page up dialog box open up at the top.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking on the right.
Okay, and then click into meta tag again. And then maybe click on settings here at the upper right. Yeah, click the settings tab. See if that does anything for us. We might have to enable it for specific content types. Okay. Here we go. So, do you see where it says content RDRC? Can you open that fold there?
Okay.
Okay. So, let's click those. You can click both basic and advanced. Yeah, and then scroll down and save that. This is under meta tag and then settings. So you could go to configuration, meta tag, and then settings. And now if we go back to that page, yeah, and reload this screen right here. I believe on the right hand side you'll see a new meta tag option. Interesting. Author information. Can you open up authoring information over on the right-hand side?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, authoring information. Yeah, I'm not sure so normally there's a meta tag. Let's try one more thing. Let's go back to structure. Now that we've enabled this, let's try to go to structure one more time, and then, and then click on content types, exactly, and then we'll edit RDRC one more time. Nope, I'm not seeing anything there. If you go to form display, nothing's there either. If you scroll up a little bit, and then click on manage form display. Can you do a control F for meta tag here and see if there's anything there? Yeah, you can just press enter. Nothing. Okay. I have to look into this, Debbie. I thought there would be an option to basically override any of those settings. I would have to play around with it a little bit to see what's happening there.
Okay. I couldn't figure it out. I tried, but I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not very straightforward. The way that I had always used in the past, I thought you would set the patterns basically, and then from there you could go and you could override individual nodes if you wanted to do that. The pattern should generally work for you though, hopefully. So like if you were to go back to the home page there, does it give you like the RDRC homepage? So you are getting like at least the correct title. You can see there it says home NBER. So that's generally working.
Well, it's working. That's what we have for the main site. The name. If you go into configuration and look at the name of the basic site.
Yep, exactly.
Just put NBER. But for the SOSFA, for the RDRC, we don't really want it to just say NBER. We wanted to say NBER then RDRC. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we could change so we could look at doing that actually. So let's go back into the configuration for the meta tag. Yeah, so go back to configuration here, So we can change those patterns. Right now, it's trying to pull a value from the base site. Um,
Yeah.
but we can change that value. We can either hard code something or we could pull a different value. Yeah, so click on meta tag there. Yeah, we'll go to settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so click on that again. So it's interesting. So you can't. I was hoping you'd be able to override. All right, let me read this real quick. Can you scroll up a little bit, Debbie? I just gotta read what this says. Identify which meta groups will be available on which entity type bundle combination. Unselect groups. Okay. And then content. That that homepage is a content of RDRC type, right? Is that correct? Yeah, let's click at it here one more time, actually. Nope,
Here.
nope, where you are. Click edit on this page. Um, Sorry, actually, can you go to all content? I need to figure out what kind of content type this is. Can you like click on the content tab? Yeah, and then filter at the top. If you scroll up, filter content type. Where it says content type, just click that drop down. Oh, nope, delete that. Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. Filter that content type by RDRC, and then press filter, that little button below it. Okay, so now click edit on any of these pages. I'm curious to just see what happens when you, yeah. Still the same thing. Okay, interesting. If you scroll down, there's no meta tag information here, huh?
No.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll have to investigate this. I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head why the settings aren't appearing. Um, but
Okay.
yeah, and then I would hope. So my hope was with Metatag. If you go back to the configuration, that second tab you have open there, yeah, and you click on Metatag defaults. I was hoping you'd be able to set patterns. Oh wait, sorry. Scroll down here. Um, yeah, I was hoping. So I mean, oh, okay. I got an idea. Let's try this. Can you can you go up here to the top here and click add default meta tags, that blue button? See if we can add one specifically for our specific content type. Okay, where it says type, yeah. Select RDRC under content. Yes. Perfect. And then open up basic tags. Page title. Okay. And then does this say we can? Okay, so here's what we would do. You would do. I believe, is there a place that, oh, under advanced down there? Can you expand the advanced? I want to see if we have our replacement patterns available to us anywhere. It's not telling us what replacement patterns we have. Okay, you can collapse advanced. We don't need that for now. Um, so we want some replacement pattern here. So I think the replacement pattern we want for the node title is bracket. Is like a,
Here.
yeah, exactly. Do like an opening bracket. You can see it. You can see an example in the little. Yeah, exactly. And then say node colon no space. Yeah, colon title, and then close the bracket, and then do a space, and then do one of those like a, I don't know what you call it, like a pipe character, that single line character. If you hold shift and press right above like the enter key, should give you one of those like up and down lines. Yep, and then space, and then just say RDRC in capital letters if you want that to be the, yeah, exactly. And then for description, we can worry about that later. But let's see if we can get this working and save this.
Is it like that?
What's that?
Just leave it like that?
Yeah, because that's like hard coded. So we're using a replacement pattern, and then we're hard coding RDRC instead of NBER. And if we come and we save that, I'm curious if that will work for us. Yeah. And then if you go back to the tab to the left that we have open, and then click on one of these again and see if we can. You can just like go to the page. You can actually go view it if you want. I'm just curious if that tab appears to say RDRC for us. Okay, so now you see actually up at the top there in the tab it says RDRC instead of NBER.
I do.
Okay, so that's
We could
work.
actually change the title to NBER RDRC.
Yep, and so you do that back where we just set that last pattern. Let's click and edit real. Can you click and edit real quick on that page though that we were just on? Yep, still no way to override it. That's interesting. I thought there was always, I always thought there was a way to set the values specifically ourselves. We'll have to figure out how to do that. But for now, I think we have at least a pattern working. So yeah, go back to your.
Here?
Yep, and then here you could edit the. So you'd actually click edit the one that you just created. Yeah, content RDRC exactly. Great.
Did I put NBER just space or dash?
Well, that's a personal preference. However you want it to appear for like, the tabs of the browser and like how you want Google to like display search results and things like that. So, however you want that to be.
I'll just do it like that.
Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And then you can also you see that there's like keywords and things like that. So you can also set those patterns there too. So like you might want to pull your description from like a truncated version of like your body text or maybe the summary. So do you see in this page? Oop, can you go back real quick?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you see how in the body it says edit summary there? If you click that link, so there is like a summary field that is sometimes hidden. If you add text there, you could always like display that as your description for your page. So there's a lot of different things you can do, and you can use those replacement patterns to create those meta tag like patterns automatically for you. And then you should be able to override it. I'm not seeing those settings right now, but you should be able to override those as well. We can look into. I'll look into that a little bit and send you some follow up after this.
So I did go ahead with the RDRC and create a custom site underneath the DAW3 template.
Okay.
So it is separate.
Okay.
Rather than because you recommended that the other one's not the SOSF is not. I started, but anyway, but this one is.
Okay. Great.
So what I'm going to bring up here is show you an example of what the content for each of the projects is going to be.
Okay.
It's going to be rewritten to be more not as technical.
Sure.
I'm waiting on that, but let me just move this over. So each project will have an abstract with the ID number, the title, the investigators, program, keywords, abstract.
Sure.
So I said, okay, so in the project stage, I put in all the projects.
Yep.
I put a nice footer in there.
Yeah. Great.
And then I'll even show you too, on the training, I put another block over here.
Excellent. Look at that. Looking good.
Okay, that's all I can brag about.
Hey, that's great though.
So we go back to projects, and then, so each one of these will link to the abstract page. Okay?
Okay.
So what I did, and I know it's not, I created a page
Mhm.
for each of the projects.
Mhm.
And then after I was doing some reading, I was reading about how you can set, content on here.
So yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to structure. Content type. And then I went to RDRC.
Mhm.
And I went to manage field. So then I created all these fields.
Okay.
But then I realized I don't want all these fields to be, I only want it for the project page.
Mm-hmm.
But it puts it in for the home,
Yeah.
put in some change, blah, blah, blah.
This is a case.
So I'm thinking, okay, so this was not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the way to do it is.
Yep. A couple of things here. So, I think the thing I should. What?
Can I delete these?
Yeah, so I would probably delete them off of here, and what I would do is I would create a new content type called RDRC project or whatever, the content type is for, and then have that content type for that specific type of content. So you have RDRC pages, right? We called it RDRC, but this is really an RDRC page, right? And we can rename that too, just to make sure it's really specific and clear.
Okay, I'm going to delete these.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I,
So one thing that just to mention is you're going to have to recreate all those nodes you already created. So that list in the content tab with all those different things, you're going to have to recreate those now that you're deleting all these. Okay.
I didn't put anything in them though.
Okay. Okay. Good. Well, then it won't be too hard then.
But is that the proper way of doing it? Creating all those nodes was the right thing to do?
Yeah, but I think so. Okay. So the way that you did it here is there's no distinction between pages and projects, right? Even though those are two separate things. And when you do that, you've kind of made your situation a little more difficult than it has to be, because do you see this page here where it aggregates all these different nodes? You have to maintain this manually. This is something that you have to go in there. If you want to add a new one, you have to go here, edit, and then add it and make a link to the other thing, right? So it's something that can you click edit here actually? Yeah, so this is just a big text field with all the different references, right? Drupal is really good at making lists of things without having you to manually edit them. So we can make a list of these projects that when you add a new project, it automatically gets added to the list, and you don't have to maintain this thing manually at all.
That'd be great.
So yeah, so let's go through doing that. So let's go first. The first thing to do is you have to create a new content type that has the type of information that you want to appear. So I would create something called RDRC projects. If you go to structure.
Are you recording this?
I am recording this, yep.
Okay, good. Because I don't have, when I try to write down things and do things, I think it's delayed from doing so.
Oh, yeah, definitely,
Okay,
definitely. So you want to go to structure, actually? It's okay. And then content types. Now we'll add a new content type of that button, and we'll call it RDRC project. And then we'll save and manage fields. You can add a description if you want. It's optional. And then if you click, save and manage fields. Now, on this screen, I would add all those fields that you deleted off the basic page. So all those fields that you don't want appearing on basic pages, they won't appear. They'll only appear on this new project type page.
Okay. So now I'm going to say add field.
Exactly. Yep. And then you have the project abstract, and you have all that information. So I would just add a couple of those here.
Yeah, for the sake of time, we won't have to add all.
Yeah, I just add one of them for now, and then.
Just text plain for.
So it depends on it really comes down to the type of information that you're trying to store here. What does the project abstract look like?
So the project ID
Okay.
like this.
Okay.
But that will, which will be a link.
So yeah, I wouldn't worry so much about a link to the actual page.
I'm sorry.
Is that a link to where?
Okay, so.
Where should that link to,
The way
Debbie?
I have it set up now is this will be the project page right here.
Yep.
And each one of these, the project page will be a list just like this.
Gotcha.
And each of these will be a link.
To the actual node of that content. Perfect. Yep. So that's pretty standard. So at this point, when you're creating the fields on your content type, you don't have to worry about it link. So we're going to do that all with views. Views is the thing that's going to create the list for us. And so
Sorry.
views is the Drupal module that's going to help us create the list. And so
Oh,
we can create that link with views. It actually happens automatically. So don't worry about linking at this point. We just need we need the ID. So let's create a text plain field like you said at the bottom there. Yep. And we'll call it project ID or whatever the naming convention you want for it.
content. Ready.
Perfect. Then you can save. Yeah, and
Is it
then
the default?
yeah, the default's fine for this. And then just save the field instance settings. That's great. now, now we have some basic structure. Let's go and add a couple of these pieces of content. So if you go up to content, actually on the um, yeah, in your admin menu, click content, and then add content. Actually, well, we could do one more thing. You could set a URL path alias as well if you want. Is there a certain URL that you want these types of content to appear at?
Well, it will be rdrc slash projects
Okay,
slash whatever.
perfect. Okay, so let's go to configuration first, and let's set the path auto alias first. Yeah, and then look up. Yeah, exactly. So do you see where it says URL aliases? Yeah, you can grab that. And similar to what we did in the past, so the place where it says patterns,
Yep.
we'll add a new pattern. So add a path auto pattern. And you might want to, yeah, can you go back one page real quick? I would copy the RDRC one there just for reference. See where it says pattern? Yeah, copy that little section. Yeah, exactly. Copy, then add path auto pattern. And for the pattern type, we'll say content. And under, yep, and then you can paste that pattern there that you had copied. And, yep. And then in right before where it says node title, just do write projects.
Is it man or uppercase, lowercase?
It's all about how you want it to appear in the URL. And then forward slash. Great. Okay. And then click off the RDRC projects content type above. Yep. And then you have to give it a label, it looks like. So you can just call this RDRC projects. Okay. Now save that. That's going to automatically create our path aliases for us. That's just kind of a nice thing to do before you start adding a bunch of content, because if you add the content first, it's just going to have a basic node ID, and then you have to go and manually add those. Now we don't have to manually add them, so it just saves us a little time. So let's go back to content now. And let's generate a couple of these. So click add content.
So I'm going to actually be deleting all of these.
Yeah, you'll probably end up deleting all those. You don't have to worry about that right now, but eventually you're going to delete all those. Yep. RDRC projects. And then just start, yeah, add one of the... And actually, you might want to make your ID your title, to be honest. I might go back and I might make the ID, because that's probably the best title for it, right? Is there a different title besides the ID, or is that kind of the title for the content? Can you click back into that Word document you had? Yeah. Oh, it does have a title, disability by scale and things like that. Okay. Okay, so that would be the title. That's fair.
This is the project ID.
Yep.
This is project name.
Okay. So we can put that as the title then. That works for a title.
What, the name?
Yeah, either way. So there's a couple things you could do here. You could change the title field to be ID. So the title field is a required field, but you could change it, the label, to say ID instead of title if you wanted to do that. It really depends on how you're identifying this stuff. I think it's fine to paste in the title here and then put the ID in the project ID. So let's just, yeah, paste that in there. And then project ID, put the corresponding project ID down there.
Okay.
Yep, and then if you want to add body, that's fine. You can leave that blank for now if you wanted to. That's up to you. It might be nice to paste something. If you have some text in there, you can add. You don't have to do the whole thing, but just like a little Bit of text might be nice.
So what will this be?
Well, that depends. It all depends on your content. So I don't know what a project looks like. I assume there's a lot of information related to it. So if you have stuff, you can paste it in there. You could always create a different field for that. That's really up to you and how you want to display the content. When you're creating a content type, you're really trying to make structure that basically is like the outline for the type of content you have. So you really want to create this based on what is in that Word document you have that has the content, and not the other way around. You don't want to force the content into a structure. You want to make the structure fit the content that you have.
Right. So when I'm here,
Uh-huh.
I want to click on this.
Yep. And don't worry so much about what this page looks like right now. Worry more about what it looks like when you click into it. Yeah, so click into that page real quick, so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, so you really want to worry about what this is going to look like for now. We can make that listing page look like anything. So for now, I think it's fine. Just save it as it is. We don't need any extra content at this point. Okay, and then I would just go and create like 2 more of those, just the same way. So, yep, add content. Great. And then, yeah, just add 1 more of those. Great. Okay. So now I think the easiest thing to do is to create a view. So if you go to Structure and Views, so this is an aggregation of that content. You're creating a list. So you add a new view at the top, and we'll name this RDRC Projects. So the naming convention I usually do is for a content type, I make it singular. So I would have, I typically name it RDRC like project, and then the view is plural because it's the aggregation of those. So I'd name this RDRC projects. That's just my own convention. You can name them whatever you want to name them, but RDRC projects seems to make sense. Oh, great. And then on view settings, so we want to show content of type, and where it says all, you want to change that to just be RDRC projects. Yep, click that. And then you click where it says create a page. And where it says paths, we're basically, I think I would name this RDRC /projects. If that path might not be available if you've already created a page that has that, but that's what I would set this as. And then that should be good for now. And you can go down and you can save this at the bottom. Save and edit.
I'm not going to remember all this.
Yeah, this is a lot. So Views is really powerful. You can spend, many weeks and months learning this interface. I'll send you the video so you can review this, but this you can do a lot in here, and you'll see pretty quickly how powerful it is. But okay, so we're creating an unformatted list of settings, and so basically what's happening, if you scroll down, you should be able to see a preview here. So do you see how we have the 3 pieces of content we created? If you scroll down, it's like listing that content automatically for us. So it's listing it in just a basic teaser content view. We want a little more control over it than that. So if you scroll up a little bit, on the left-hand side where it says fields, actually first you have to change we're under format. Do you see where I'm seeing on the left-hand side? Yeah. Click on settings there. Actually, click out of this. Let's X out of that real quick. Cancel. Click on unformatted list at the top there. So these are the different types by default that you can use. So you could create a grid by automatically. You could create a table. You could actually, if there was a date field, you could create things like calendars and all sorts of like things in here. Right now, we can keep it as an unformatted list. Let's cancel out of this. And then where it says content, below that, show content, we're going to change that to fields. So click content and change it to fields. So, and apply. And I'll try not to get too deep in this. So basically, the content was just showing a teaser view of this, and you can create different view displays for that kind of information. We're not going to worry about that right now. Basically, we're going to choose the fields that we want to add to it. So just click apply here to set the row settings. We're not going to worry too much about that right now. But you see below here, now it's just showing the titles. If you scroll up a little bit, you can click add next to the field section. So to the right of field, click add, and then search for the ID field that you created. Yep, right there, I believe, project ID. And then add and configure fields at the bottom. And then for now, you can just leave this as is. I would just say apply. We can see what that looks like. And so basically, now this is how it's going to look. You're going to have the title that links to the content, and then you're going to have the ID below it. You could move the ID.
Can I get this above it?
Yep, you can. So go, scroll up a little bit, and then to the right of fields where that arrow is, click on the arrow next to add. Yeah, and click rearrange. And then you can move project ID above title. And then you can click apply. And if you save that, yep, yes, the interface is kind of weird. Once you get used to it, it's second nature. But at first, I'm not sure it's laid out in the most intuitive way. But it has a lot of capacity to do some pretty robust things. So I think it's hard to fit all this complexity into such a small screen. But okay, so let's go back to the site, like the front. You can keep this tab open because we're going to do more in here probably. I would click onto one of these other tabs and just go like metatag.mber, one of the next tabs over, and I just go back to the main site here. Yeah, click on home. Yeah, exactly, and then go to the RDRC page. And then where it says projects, can you hover over projects real quick? Okay, so RDRC projects. So that we might have a conflict here. Can you click on that page? I'm curious what happens here. So this is the old.
We don't want this anymore.
Yeah. So actually, let's delete this page.
Okay, I'm all for it.
Okay. And now, if you go back to your the tab you have open to the left with the view in it, and let's update this URL. So if you actually go to the path and click on under page settings in the center there, click on that, and I think we have to add Drupal to our path here because this is aware of the whole site and not our specific subsite. So before RDRC, put the word Drupal, and then / exactly, and then save that, apply, and then you actually have to go and save it. If you scroll down, you have to go and save it. And now if we go back to let's go back to our site in a different tab here. And so if you, click a tab to the right, Debbie. Yeah, and then click on projects in this tab actually.
It's no longer in our menu.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to add it back in there, I think. So I'd edit that menu link. So if you can go structure menus if you want to do that. RDRC nav. Now, yeah, add a new link. Call it projects. Because when we deleted it, there was no more reference to it, so the system tried to get rid of it for us. And then we just do our Drupal RDRC projects link / RDRC projects. Save that.
I don't think I have Drupal on the other one. So
Oh, you don't?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Then sorry. In here, just do RDRC projects, I guess. That's interesting. I wonder if we okay, because that's something that Alex is setting up with Apache. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, try that and see if you can save that. Okay, and then let's go back to the site. We might have to do a little work to connect these things. So you want to go back to like the display of the website?
Yeah.
Let's keep that page open actually, because we're going to do more in that view. So yeah, go back on that. And just on any other tab, just yeah, go back to the main website. Exactly. Perfect. Then click on projects, see what happens there. Okay. RDRC projects. Okay, so let's go back to the.
How come it opened up the science funding?
It just didn't find a page. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just that's a default. Let's go back to the view in the upper left hand corner. Let's change this. Let's get rid of the Drupal there and just do RDRC projects again. See if that does it. Yeah. Yeah, and then apply that and see what happens there. Just trying to connect these two pages for some reason.
Right.
The path settings are kind of weird with some of the subsiting stuff that we've done. Yeah, I'm clicking there. Okay, interesting. Can you click back into the view real quick? Oh, you have to save that. You have to save that update. It looks like the settings aren't saved yet.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't notice it either. Yep. And then yeah, go back to the page and just reload that. See if that connects it for us. Okay. So now we're getting our view here at least. And you should be able to click into any of those and go to the actual page.
So, the heading, the title, and the menu is
Yeah.
nothing.
So I think I think there's a couple things that might be happening here. It's all about the block settings. So if you have, I think before the blocks were looking for a specific content type. This is no longer that content type, right? So we'd have to go through and change the visibilities to just look at for paths and not for content types. So yeah, let's go to our block layout. And then go to the theme that is setting that. Yeah, RDRC, exactly. And so yeah, where you're setting the nav, configure that. And see where it says content. Yeah, we know. Yeah, no, we actually want to uncheck all these because this view is technically not either of those content types. Those content types only correspond to the specific node page that it's on. So we actually don't want either of those. But so you can save that. We actually don't, since I believe this is the only site using this theme. Is that correct? We shouldn't have to set the visibility settings, but we can tell real quick. So I would keep a page open with the display and then keep this block settings open just so we can like quickly toggle back and reload and look at them. So on one of your other tabs there, you can click where configure Metatag module. Yeah, any of those tabs is fine. Let's send this back to the home page. Yep, click back to home. And then actually let's click into the the RDRC projects page, you can just do it in the URL if you want to do that directly. Yeah. And then we'll keep this page open because we're just going to keep reloading this until we get it right. And we'll mess with the blocks. So, okay. So, okay, that didn't work for... Looks like we're not getting the new menu there. Yeah, let's go back into block layout there. I wonder... Let's see here. That should be using it because it's using the right path. I'm curious... all the other pages are using a capital RDRC and this is using a lowercase? I don't know if that matters, but I'm curious if it does. So the other tab you have open to the right, Debbie?
I'm sorry?
The tab you have open to the right of this page? Yeah, if you click that. Do all our other pages use a capital RDRC? Like our RDRC home?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Can you try opening up a new tab and going to one of those pages? Yeah, let's keep this page. Oh, go ahead.
I don't think it mattered.
Okay.
Here and here.
Okay, can you click into one of those? Okay. All right. Well, that seems to work. Okay, so let's go back into our block settings. It seems like that doesn't matter. So we have our RDRC nav. Can we click into the configuration of that again? One more time? Yeah. Pages non-restrictive. Primary menu. So that menu should appear. Yeah, I'm not sure why that menu is not appearing there. That should work. But if you click on projects, it's not going there, huh? Interesting. Yeah, it must have something to do with the fact that this is not a node. I wonder if it might be a module bug with a theme switching module. Since this is not actually a node, we could trick it. So there's a couple things we could do. We're not gonna have. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna have time to fix this on the call, Debbie, just because I actually have to hop off. But this could go pretty deep. There's a lot of configurations we can do here. I have a lot of ideas about how to fix this. I think we're gonna need a little more time to do it.
Okay, so I just put in RDRC uppercase.
Yeah.
And it appeared.
Okay.
But not the
Yep. Okay, well that makes sense. We can fix that. Okay, so there's something happening very specific with the theme switching module that it needs to find that uppercase URL pattern. I think we should try to be consistent with them, like either use all uppercase or all lowercase across the site. So the first thing to do would be in your menu. So if you hover over the menu there and you click the little pencil icon, lower, a little lower. Oh, there.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. And then edit menu. Let's change the projects to just use the capital version of this. And then save that. Okay, and then go back to, yeah, you're gonna have to change okay.
Why did it go back to the old menu?
Because you don't have the capital in there again. So if you actually go to like RDRC home one more time in the URL, yeah, try to go home. And then try to click on projects again. Oh, it always puts them lowercase. Interesting. Okay, I think the thing to do would be I might just update the theme switching thing to use all lowercase and then just use lowercase throughout, and that might help out. Because if you update this URL manually, the uppercase works, right?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, if you update that manually, it does work, it seems. So I would change the theme switching module to basically use all lowercase. I think that's probably the easiest thing to do. So if you go to configuration, and then I can't remember the name of the module. It's up a little bit. Switch page theme. It it might make sense to just see how we're using uppercase there. Yeah, you can actually, do you know what you can do? Copy that and then add another line below it with lowercase. Yeah, just enter. And then do that again with just the lowercase. Yeah, exactly. You can get rid of the space in between them if you want. Yeah. Try that and see if that fixes us up at all. That might be the quickest thing to do. And if you go back to the site again, yeah, you can do it in that page. We don't need that page open anymore. Okay, so that seems to work. And click on the projects link again right there, real quick. Okay, so now it seems to allow us to do either uppercase or lowercase. So that's good. That's working. The other thing we need to do is we just need to update the visibility settings for the title block there. So can you go to that 2 tabs to the right of where you are, where it says Configure Block? Yeah, click into that, and then go back to Block Layout. Actually, you can just press Go Back on this page if you want. Where it says the MBER Retirement and Disability Research Center. Yeah, click Configure to the right of this. And again, so we just need to get rid of the specific visibility settings that we have set here. So we're only showing this for RDRC content types. Let's just uncheck that. Since we're only using this in this theme, we don't need to set those visibility settings. So let's save that.
So tick that off?
Yep, tick that off and then give that a save. And then if you reload that second tab you have open there, that should make that appear. Okay. So, okay, well, at least we have this kind of working. I do have to hop off, Debbie. I would love to go over in more detail. There's a lot more we can do with the views, like a ton of things. Like we could, for instance, if you wanted the link to happen on the ID instead of the title, we could do that. Or we could... Yeah, so we can do that. There's a lot of things we can do, but basically as you go in right now, as we have it, as you start adding more projects, they'll automatically appear on this page. And you don't have to maintain that list anymore.
Maybe next week we can touch base because like the font is too small.
Sure.
Does that look like Georgia to you?
I think it looks like Georgia. We can inspect it and find out. But yeah, we can always increase the font size and do a lot of styling things with this as well. But
edit.
Yep, that will take you to the view if you click edit there, which, yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And then you could add, like, as you add new fields to the content type, you could come here and add them to the view. You could, like, you can do things like truncate long chunks of text and do a lot of interesting things in here. We only kind of scratched the surface of it, but we can always loop back in on this next week after you had a little chance to play around with it some more.
This is where I'm going to continue to add fields.
Exactly. You got to first add them to the content type, the underlying content, and then you can reference them here.
I'm going to say that again, and then what?
You have to first add them to the underlying content type, the RDRC project, and then you can reference them once you've added them to the content type.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to wait for your video.
Yeah, so you know where we created the content type, right? Like we created so under structure, content types.
Structure.
And then content types. So we created this new RDRC project here. And if you click manage fields to the right of this is where you add the field, and then the view is only choosing what to display. So this is what the actual content structure is. So you'd add the field here, and then you would go and add it to the view if you want it to display in that list. Because you're probably not going to want every field to display in the list, right? You only want a few certain fields to display.
Here's my question though. How come when I'm looking here for the field, I have an ID and I got a project name. Why am I only seeing ID here?
Because the name is a default field that's required. If you click edit to the left, no, edit to on the tab. Oh, can you go back? Up in the tabs, yeah, click edit. The title field is a required field, so right down in the down a little bit, title field label. Do you see that? Title field label.
Here?
Yep. So you could rename that to be name or whatever you want it to be, but that field has to be there. It has a required title field um,
Okay.
on every piece of content. Yeah. You could change it to say something else. You could say it's a name or an ID or whatever, but that's always going to be there.
Okay. So I think right now it is just right now it is the name, right?
Right now it says title, but you could change it to say name if you want it to be name.
Okay. That's okay. All right. I got you.
Okay. Well, I have to jump off, Debbie, but
No, I thank you, Jim.
yeah, hopefully this helps you get started. I'd say play around with views a little bit, play around with creating these content types, and then we'll come back and next week we can loop in on any questions that you have.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Perfect.
All
I
right.
really appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, thanks, Debbie.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.